Hello and welcome back to Chaos Commentary. And last video I made, if it uploads, because I got an error and I don't know how to fix it, because I don't know anything about YouTube, I talked about my top favorite premium ships from each level. Well, now we're going to talk about the worst ships from each level. And for level 2s, we're going to start with this one, the Katori? I don't know how to pronounce half of these. I'm also dyslexic, but yeah, this one's going first. Reason I don't like this one, it only has two guns. One in the front, one in the back. You know, most low-level ships are covered in guns, and you're in a cruiser that only has two, plus a very flat-looking side that's probably easy to citadel, versus, let's say, the Aurora or the Oleg. These things have guns all over them. So, yeah, that other ship is my pick for the worst of level 2. The katori, I don't know. Level 3 was actually a little tough to choose because I only have 3 level 3 ships and I actually like all of them. So last time I talked about how awesome the Arkansas is and the Nazu, so by default it's this one. And it's really got the same issue as the last ship. It only has a couple guns. One in the front, one in the back. And it's got torpedoes, but it's just not really that good. Now we go over to my level 4s. There's actually quite a few bad level 4s over here. So we talked about how awesome the Marblehead is. We have the Texas. Geez, Japan, Russia. Why do you have to make it so hard to pronounce things? We have this cruiser. Yagai, the okhotnik, and the Cram. It's kind of down between the okhotnik and the Texas, actually. The reason why I don't like Texas is its double-barrel cannons. I just have really bad luck with double-barrel cannons. But this thing is covered in AA guns. Kind of good to use against those, when they added aircraft carriers. This thing's really good at shooting them down, because this thing's really just a freaking boat with AA guns, and they just felt like, let's add some main guns to it for shits and giggles, because, I mean, just look at all those guns. That's a lot of AA guns. So, I actually, because of just looking at those AA guns, I'm actually going to not put that as the worst. I'm going to move over to this one, actually. Congratulations, Russia. You are the worst level 4. It's Russian, so its torpedoes have no range. Let's take a look. 4 kilometers. Yeah, no range. 47-second reload makes up for it. Yeah, it's just the worst level 4. You barely lost to the Texas. Level 5s, we got the California, the Matsubi, how I talked about how these two were really good. We got the London and the dunkerque. It's actually a little tough because it's a battleship versus a cruiser. And I just got this thing like 2 days ago, so I haven't used it enough to really judge it. Because I haven't used it enough to really judge it, we're actually going to give it to the dunkerque. I'm sorry, dunkerque. Maybe if I use the London more, it might be worse, but this thing only has 2 guns. 2 in the front, which kind of gives you an advantage because you don't have to go broadside to fight in this battleship. You can bow tank just about anything. And you got quad barrel guns, which is better than double barrel. But you only have 2 guns. If they get knocked out, they're knocked out, and you're pretty much screwed. You just can't fight back. So because of that reason, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. Level 6s. Oh, we got quite a few choices here. It's down to the Ragnarok or the benhah. Atlanta's good, and that Poltavia is good, and this destroyer is good, but the Ragnarok and this one suck. A little bit. I want to like Ragnarok because it is an improvement on the other version of it that I hate with a passion and is my most hated ship in this entire game. Can't remember its name right now. Oh, Nagato. It's the Nagato. This is the premium version of a Nagato, and the Nagato can't hit a fucking thing. Can't hit the broadside of a barn. Is the worst ship in the game. Can't hit nothing. It is useless. Get rid of it. It's trash. This thing actually can hit something. And it's actually sporting some pretty powerful guns at 410. 26-second reload. It's not that bad. I actually gonna give this one not the worst, weakest ship in the level 6 tier. It's going to the benhah. I hate you, benhah. I thought this was going to be an amazing ship when they advertised this thing for the season. It's like, it's got freaking 8 torpedo launchers, 2 on each side. But the torpedoes are extremely weak. What's the damage of these things? Artillery, no, it's under torpedoes. Maximum damage, 9,000. I mean, that's pretty good, but I mean, they're slow as hell, so you can't snipe battleships like from long range with these torpedoes. It's like a shotgun. You kind of just aim the torpedoes, go widespread, and fire everything and hope somebody sails into them. And even if they do, you won't kill it because the torpedoes are too weak. The guns are actually the better part of this ship. I'd rather go use it as a gunboat than a destroyer because its torpedoes are just garbage. So you are the weakest link. Goodbye. We are going to level 7s now. Okay. I think we all know which level 7's getting the boot. It is the Azuma. Oh, Azuma. I wanted to love you. I like cruisers. When I first saw this, I thought it was a battleship because of how big this thing is. And then I looked at its stats, and I'm like, this is a really shitty battleship. Like, its guns are small. It takes forever to reload. It's got nothing going for it. It's like, why would I use this as a battleship? And then I realized it's not a battleship. It's a cruiser. And I'm like, oh, well, this is a pretty powerful cruiser. Its citadel it still has the weakness of all cruisers, an easy citadel. These things don't last very long in the battlefield. If you see one, it's like a free kill because they just die too easily from their citadels. It loads really slow too. It has all the disadvantages of a battleship and none of the advantages of a cruiser. So, you have the bigger guns of a battleship, but you have the reload speed of a battleship. You have the size of a battleship, but you don't have the health of a battleship. And you've got the citadel of a cruiser, and none of the speed and maneuverability. This is a really terrible ship. Oh, that's it. We're at level 7. That was a really fast video. Not as fast. This is my the ones I liked were a lot quicker because I'm passionate about them. You know what? Bonus round. Why don't we just talk about the legendaries? We got time. So we have the Alaska. If it loads, come on, baby. The Alaska. It's actually a really big cruiser. It hits really hard. The issue with it is it loads really slow. 18 seconds. It feels like an eternity with this thing. The Shimakaze. Honestly, I actually haven't used this yet. I unlocked it. I haven't used it yet. I have looked at its stats, and I'm not too impressed. Mainly due to its, that 125-second torpedo reload speed is kind of agonizing. It makes up for it for 11-kilometer range, but stealth is 97. I actually think my Akatsuki is 99. My Akatsuki is still better than this. We have the Yamato. Biggest guns in the entire game. This was the first legendary I got. Yamato is actually not too bad. It's really feared against most enemy ships because its guns can punch through anything in the game. Nothing can be spared from its main guns. Its weakness is near the tail section is easy to citadel. Once you know where its citadel is, they're easy to take out. Beating that one out, I think this one, the G Kurfürst, is the better premium out of all of them. I also need to put a camo on this thing at some point. Its guns, a little bit smaller than the Yamato's, but it makes up for it has long secondary range, just like most German ships. It has that extra gun. It has 4 guns instead of 3, and it has the most health out of any ship in the game. So you lose a little bit of firepower, but you make up for it with extra secondary range and more health. So if I had to pick one of these 4, it's going to be Kurfürst until I unlock, I don't remember what it's called, but until I unlock this one and test it out, my list may change. But yeah, that is Perfect Chaos's list for his top worst level tiered ships. That sounded terrible. The title's bad, but yeah, those are just the ships I don't like. Those are my least favorite premium ships that I own. Yeah.